Hello everyone. In the following presentation, I will explain my narrative analysis as the final evaluation of the TREPE course. I will present the assumptions that I had at the beginning of the semester about education. In first place, in my opinion, this assumption is not completely accurate because it's so general. Even though there are several approaches to what is the purpose of education, I realized that the encouragement of integral future citizens as a goal of the educational system was my own perspective, a subjective perspective disconnected of the educational reality. That is to say, there are other educational goals that I ignored. Thus, through the course, I understood that the educational phenomenon is more complex than I thought. How my father is a teacher, he always told me about the importance of education as a way to build a better society. Hence, through time, from my own perspective, I have conceived education as a way to encourage integral future citizens. But unfortunately, I had not taken into account other factors that condition the goals of Chilean education. Furthermore, since my adolescence, I have been interested in politics. I studied in the humanistic program in my school, so I acquired a background about it. I studied, for example, the Chilean dictatorship, the universal history as the First and Second World War, Arab-Israeli conflict, and also civic education. Due to this school program, I realized the importance of social political participation for the development of democracy. That is to say, how democracy is crucial for not repeating those terrible moments of history. In this sense, because of the content that I learned at school, my interest in politics, and the influence that I received from my father's conception, I have conceived education in that way. Although currently my understanding is different. Through the Tropic course, we have learned different aspects that condition the goal of education, such as the ideologies behind the curricula, the different laws as the Ley de Aula Segura, that criminalizes students rather than treats the problem behind, and also the use of pills for students in order to every student learns in the same way. That is to say, a standardization of students' learning process. So, actually, there are oppressive educational actions that take place at schools that impede, to some extent, the development of future citizens. That is to say, political forces that manage education and its purposes. Despite the complexity of educational reality, I have a new understanding as a future teacher. Now, I take into account the fact that I cannot change the educational system entirely, but I firmly believe that I can change the life of students through my teaching work as an important purpose of education as well. For example, those students that come from vulnerable backgrounds or have learning difficulties, I can help them through the teaching of values, emotional intelligence, and through the adjustment of my pedagogical practices to the students' needs. So, the need of a reflective and critical approach toward education and its impact on society. Consequently, throughout the new understandings acquired from the TREPE course, I think that it is pivotal to consider every factor implicated in the educational phenomenon in order to rethink, analyze, and comment on a deepened way the reality of education, especially in the schools that I'm going to work. Thus, as a future teacher, I will have the possibility to be an accountable teacher with the purpose of being an agent of change, um, with the purpose of being an agent of change for society through education. Thank you so much for paying attention to me.